Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Courtesy of Field Yates. This news just coming down. The Saints have signed quarterback. Oh, yes, thank you. A little breaking news. The Saints have signed quarterback Brett Hundley to the practice squad. You remember Brett Hundley, who's quarterback at UCLA, who had a really good career at UCLA, and at one point during his career was thought to be a potential first-round pick. He was there in 2012, 13, and 14. His big year, all 3 seasons that Hundley was at UCLA, he threw for over 3,000 yards all 3 years. His first year in 2012, he threw for 3,700 yards, 29 touchdowns, 11 picks. So Hundley had a really good career at UCLA, was thought to maybe be a potential first-round draft pick. In the end, he comes out after 3 years. He was taken in the 5th round by the Packers in the 2015 draft, was with Green Bay. Remember the year Rodgers broke his collarbone? Brett Hundley played the rest of that season, replaced Aaron Rodgers. And then in 2018, he was traded to the Seattle Seahawks, and it just didn't get any better. He signed a 1-year contract with Arizona in 2019. Played in relief of Aaron Murray. Was back with the Cardinals in 2020. And then last year was the backup with the Indianapolis Colts, who was sort of a practice squad, active roster, up, down, up, down, up, down, all throughout the year. This season, in the offseason, he signed with Baltimore, but the Ravens didn't make the squad, was released in August during the roster cuts, and has been looking for a squad since. And now Brett Hundley is on the New Orleans Saints roster. He will replace Jake Lutton, who Jake Lutton was a guy who had been with Jacksonville, only played in 3 career games. That was all in the COVID year in Jacksonville in 2020. Jake Lutton's 26 years old. Throughout this season, let's see, he has been transacted. Let's see. He was signed back in August by Jacksonville. 3 days later, waived by the Jaguars. September the 6th, the Saints signed him to the practice squad. October the 1st, the Saints signed him to the active roster. Then 17 days ago, the Saints cut Lutton. 2 days after that, he was back on the practice squad. And then yesterday, the Saints cut Lutton, and today they've signed Brett Hundley. I don't want to overreact to this, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think the Saints are making a move like for Brett Hundley to be their future. Please don't misunderstand. I don't want you to overreact to anything like this. But I am somewhat curious if the Saints, if maybe this is somewhat of an indicator to say that maybe Jameis Winston isn't healthy, and this is an acknowledgement of that. And here's what I mean, if you'll just connect the dots, and I'm going to grant you, I'm doing this a little bit on the fly because this news just came down about 30 minutes ago, and I don't have anything else to share other than what's happened here. But you had a practice squad quarterback in Jake Lutton, and Hundley has been available. I mean, at any moment since August, you could have signed Brett Hundley, but you didn't. And you chose to do so now. Maybe Jake Lutton wasn't doing well in practice. I don't know. Maybe you felt like you needed Brett Hundley because he's a mobile quarterback, and maybe you need to simulate Lamar Jackson. I'm just throwing stuff out. I really don't know. Maybe that's it, that you got a guy who's a little more mobile, can go simulate Lamar Jackson. I don't know. But Hundley has also played in 17 career games. He started 9 times. He's been in the league since 2015. He's been around longer. And so if you need an emergency quarterback, maybe you're asking yourself, what's a better option? Is it Jake Lutton or is it Brett Hundley? My guess would be you'd say Hundley. He's a little bit older. Lutton's 26, Hundley's 29, and Hundley's been in the league for longer. So maybe that's a better option. Don't get me wrong, neither is a great option. But we saw what happened a year ago whenever the Saints ended up starting Ian Book on Monday Night Football because you got really, really deep on the roster. And it's clear the Saints are sticking with Andy Dalton, but my contention remains that Jameis Winston with a broken back and a ruptured ligament in his foot is not healthy. I can understand and appreciate Dennis Allen maybe being coy and trying to minimize injuries for a competitive advantage. Coaches do that often. But I don't think you're legitimately going to try to convince me that Jameis Winston is healthy enough to play when he's got broken vertebrae and a ruptured ligament in his foot. So if you do need an emergency player, maybe you're looking at a guy here that's got more experience and maybe a guy that could better simulate Lamar Jackson in practice this week. But the Saints have signed Brett Hundley to their practice squad, and for this weekend, they cut Jake Lutton a day ago. They signed Brett Hundley, so they made a change at the most important position on the field. Why they made that decision with that role will be a wait to see when Dennis Allen meets with the media. Again, the first injury report of the week normally comes on Wednesday, but because the Saints are playing on Monday Night Football, everything's bumped a day. So the Saints' first injury report will actually come on Thursday. Maybe that will be telling if we see an injury on the injury report or some designation there that might give us a clue. So we'll hold our breath and wait to see what that may reveal. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.